Hey y'all, Jamie here. This is Dig It Homesteading. Welcome to my kitchen. I have sister here today and we are feeling very Christmassy spirited today, and we wanted to share with you some of our family's favorite Christmas cookie recipes, and as a bonus we're going to test out a recipe as well because it looks delicious. But first you need to see our shoes. They're amazing. Y'all, aren't they cute? Look at the little Grinch. My lovely husband got them for us, and we just think they're so precious. We love them. And they're furry on the inside. Do you love them?
Yes.
Do you love our twinning today? I think it's amazing.
Yes.
We're gorge. Thanks. Okay, so first up, we're going to show you what is called the best rolled sugar cookies. And yes, they might be the best rolled sugar cookies, and they're super easy to do. So let's do this. Are you cooking today, sister?
Yes.
You gonna mix up all the ingredients?
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Yay! Me too. Okay, to start, sister's gonna put 1.5 cups of softened butter, or 3 sticks of butter, in our KitchenAid, along with 2 cups of white sugar. And I'm gonna go and measure her out 5 cups of all-purpose flour, so that is ready for her.
Did you know that you can keep these butter things and like put them back in the box and then use them to like butter your pan?
That's awesome.
Yeah. One of my friends was talking about it. I don't know why.
That's a great tip.
Using the thing or no?
Half. 1. Half. And 2 cups sugar. Alright, put your blade thing on, your whisk attachment, and let's get that starting to cream together. We really need to invest in the paddle attachment because we only have this attachment and a hook, which this will do it, but you just got to take time to get all the stuff from getting clogged up in this attachment. Okay, everything's creamed together, so she's going to get that mixer going again and drop in 1 egg at a time for a total of 4 eggs. And we do have the oven set to 400 preheating. Those are your lovely chicken eggs, sister. Okay, now you need to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract as well. I have the teaspoon sitting there. That's our lovely Mexican vanilla. Okay, Vanna.
Oh.
Y'all, she don't know who that is. Let me know down in the comments if you know what that reference is. It smells lovely, doesn't it?
Does it smell like American?
You notice it's clear? Yeah. Alright, get that all mixed up together and then we'll do the next steps.
Is it still going?
What, baby?
Is it still going?
Uh-huh.
Oh. Oh, cute.
Okay, now 1 cup at a time, sister. Go ahead and start putting in your flour. Just on the side like that.
Almost dropped it there.
You're gonna need, I told y'all, every time we get in here and cook, the bird thinks we're making her food. 2 teaspoons of baking powder once you're done with that, ma'am. And then you're going to also add 1 teaspoon of salt. We will scrape down our sides and get it all fully combined, and then we're going to take it out of the machine, cover it, and stick it in the fridge for 1 hour. I'm sure the raw batter would be tasty, but there's also raw eggs. I know. I grew up eating cookie dough, cookie batter.
Yeah, see, you grew up eating it and you're still here.
So that's just a risk some people take and some people don't. Next up is one of my childhood favorites, is the oatmeal no-bake cookies. And my grandmother used to make them all the time, and they were always what I look forward to for Christmas. And sister, these are the ones that she looks forward to now every year. So we're going to show you just how easy they are. And if I didn't mention it before, I will link all of these recipes down below so you can reference them and have them for yourself as well. So our other dough is in the fridge, and we're going to just whip these up so these can be setting while we deal with the other cookies. Right? Okay, let's get started.
How many oats?
You need in a saucepan over medium heat. Oh, you didn't expect that, did you? Okay, so we're going to add to a saucepan 2 cups of white sugar. Go for it, sister. And we have a teeny tiny saucepan because our bigger ones are in the dishwasher. And I would recommend even using one of your larger pots because you're supposed to combine it all into one pot. But since we have such a tiny one, we're going to make some adjustments. And what is that, a half a cup you're having to use?
Yeah.
To fit in the top of that?
Yeah.
So you need that 4 times. 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. I think you should take a big spoonful and eat it. Oh wait, you've already done that.
No, that was cinnamon.
Yeah, you've done that too. You're like, but I want to eat it. And I say, go ahead. And you regretted that choice. But anyway, add that in there. And then you need a half a cup of milk. And it calls for half a cup of margarine. But we are using butter.
So 1/2?
Yep, half a cup of milk.
Isn't the thing supposed to be on?
Well, you can put everything in and then turn it on. So you can make sure nothing burns. Add a splash more. There you go.
At all.
Alright, go for it. Okay. Now you got that turned on to medium heat?
No.
Okay, get it on medium heat. And I did wash up your little spatulare. Right there in the bowl in front of you. So she's going to get that wrapper cleaned up again, and then we're just going to warm it up in a medium-high heat, stirring occasionally, and we're going to boil about 1 minute and remove from heat. So while she's bringing that up to a boil, let's go ahead and put 3 cups of quick cooked oats in your bowl.
What?
3 cups. There you go. Now let me make sure we haven't forgotten anything. Yep, we are on target.
What's that mean?
And that looks nice. That's going to be delicious. She has made an executive decision to crank the heat up since we're just standing here watching it. She said it's not melting quick enough. So she's not going to walk away from this pot, but we're going to get it melted up a little bit quicker. Okay, so it is brought up to a boil, so we've reduced the heat and we're just going to keep stirring it for about 1 minute. Alright, we're going to cut off the heat and we're going to take that pot off the heat as well. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. A pinch of salt. And then you can add all of this peanut butter because there's not much left in that jar. It's crunchy peanut butter. And you want half a cup, which is about what's left in that jar. Very nice. Give it a good mix. Anytime we have an empty one of these, that doggy is waiting for it. Come here, Bandit. Sit. You waiting? You good boy? That dog loves his peanut butter containers, and he knows when they're ready for him, and he just takes them to his cage and licks them clean, and then when he's done, we throw them away. So it's a twofer, snack for us and snack for him. All right, everything looks lovely. We're just going to get it all poured into the oatmeal that we pre-measured out, and it smells delicious. And feel free to substitute that vanilla for rum sauce or almond extract if you want to change up these flavors and be creative. Maybe peppermint. Then it could be peppermint peanut butter chocolate. That might be interesting. So use your creativity, or just go with the good old-fashioned flavors that you expect to have every year. That's lovely, sister. Alright, we've got our lovely, lovely mixture ready, and it is very warm. Ta-da! And you just need 2 big spoons, and you just blop out. It's a very, very technical term, y'all.
Yeah, just blop it out.
Blop it out. If you want to fix the edges and make them look a little more decent, go for it. If you want to make them look rustic, that's fine too.
Rustic.
But you just set them out and let them cool for about an hour, and then keep them in an airtight container, and that is easy as that.
Use an ice cream scooper.
Alright, so we made pretty good sized ones instead of tiny ones, and that recipe made about 18, with enough for sister to eat the rest off the spoon. Are you excited to have them again?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're making my husband's favorite. They're white chocolate and cranberry cookies. And since the bowl for my KitchenAid is in the fridge with the sugar cookies still, we're just going to use a hand mixer, and this whips up super quick, and I have my oven set for 475. Oh, and one more thing. I'm going to double this recipe, so I will be letting you know what the actual measurements are for one batch, but I'm doing a 2 batch for this. I'm planning on doing where I'm baking 1 batch now, and I'm going to put the other batch in the freezer so I have those ready for Christmas or whenever the urge hits him that he needs these cookies. Alright, sister has very graciously decided to get these all whipped up as well. So I told you I'm going to use the actual ingredients for 1 batch, and she's going to be doubling that, so don't pay attention to how much she's putting in. So you'll need 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and then 1/2 cup of white sugar, and then 1/2 cup of unsalted butter that is softened. That's it. I want to see you add the butter. Beautiful. So our butter was frozen. We've been watching sales and getting butter, and we didn't know how much butter we would need today, so we didn't have enough out. So it was frozen. It's been sitting out for a while, and it just sat over there by the vent and got a little sticky icky. Okay, so for some reason sister doesn't like using this machine, so I'll get it all mixed up for you. And I like to kind of squish my butter extra and then get it going. Now you see it kind of looks like sand right now. That's not quite done. You want it to kind of come together. The sugar will start dissolving a bit, and it will be more creamy. Alright, see how it doesn't fall so much like sand? It's more of a creamier, doughier texture. That's whenever it's got cream together. While she's getting her eggs ready, we're going to do 1.5 cups of flour and half a teaspoon of baking soda into a separate bowl. Alright, so you need 1 egg, pour it into your sugar and butter mixture, and then you're going to beat that until well combined. Okay, so now you want to add 1 tablespoon of brandy, and we are actually using dry sherry, which is what we have used for years. Literally the only thing I've used this bottle for is these cookies. And then you get it all mixed up as well.
Is that alcohol?
Yeah, it's alcohol.
How much? Just 1?
2 of them for us since we're doubling. Man, such steady hands pouring that bottle. Impressive. This girl says that sherry smells like banana. That's weird. Anyway, so we're going to beat that until it's combined, and then we'll add, I think there's 4 more ingredients, and that's it. Alright, now we want to add our flour and baking soda mixture, about half or a third, and just do this a little at a time so your flour doesn't go poof everywhere. Okay, so you can see it's not completely combined, but you want to do this where it's just combined. So we're going to go around the edges a little bit and just kind of work it in just a teeny tiny bit. It does not have to be beat to death. You just want to mostly get it combined. Okay? No over mixing here. Alright, now I need to add 1 cup of dried cranberries, and I'm just using the rest of this package too. We'll call that 2 cups for me since I'm making the double batch. Alright, now you add 3/4 of a cup of white chocolate chips. Or you can be like sister and just keep pouring in extra chocolate, which that made that basically a whole bag of white chocolate, but whatever. Okay, use your mixer here and just fold that stuff in. You're not trying to break it up and beat it up. This is where your muscles come in for sure. So it's technically like just a chocolate chip cookie recipe that you use sherry instead of vanilla, and instead of regular chocolate chips you use white chocolate chips and the cranberries. So this recipe, you can go to town on all the different ingredients that you want to put in, like maple, maybe maple walnut with dark chocolate chips. That would be good. But you can just change all these little extras like your vanilla or your sherry, the white chocolate chips and the cranberries, and just try and make all sorts of different flavors. Okay, so I've decided we're gonna keep a little less than half of this dough to bake up today, and then they can have more around Christmas, and we'll have those frozen and ready just to go straight in the oven when it's closer to Christmas. So these are also great make ahead, and we're gonna, let's see, you can try to do, well, do it 2 and 2 like that. Yeah, since this is a very small cookie sheet, I just put some parchment and sprayed some oil on it, and she's gonna get these all put out for us, and then I'll show you how we're going to get them ready for the freezer. So our spacing might be a little wonky on this. We really should, I don't know how we can do this. We want to do 8 because that leaves about 2 for each of us to try out now and to let y'all see what they look like. And then the rest of this We're gonna scoop out onto these bigger trays and throw them in the freezer to be flash frozen.
That's tasty.
And you do want to try to get them to be all about the same size. That way they freeze about the same amount of time and bake about the same amount of time. What are you doing? Do not lick that yet. Yeah, we had to turn on fans and stuff, y'all. Here it is Christmas time. And I think we're getting into the 80s today.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to really worry about my spacing on here. I just don't want them touching. So we can get a lot closer on these pans. Because they're not going to spread, they're just going to freeze. And if you let them touch each other, then they will freeze together, which defeats the purpose of putting them all out together. Alright, I'm just going to pop these in the freezer. We'll get those in the oven and we'll show you what they look like and give a taste test. Alright, so here is what the cranberry white chocolate chip cookies look like. They do always look a little doughy in the center, but you don't want to overcook them. I hope you can see they're lightly brown around the edges. And they are done. So you take them out, let them sit on your pan to cool a little bit, and then you'll transfer them over to a wire rack to let them finish cooling. And while we wait for those cookies to cool on our pan, we are going to taste test our no-bake cookies. That's very good. I want to talk. I want to eat. Those are delicious. Anyway, we're going to put those in an airtight container and throw them in the freezer until it's closer to Christmas when we're ready to use these and gift them and eat them and share them and all the wonderful things. Right, sister?
Girl, get out of here. Why are you eating all of it?
Okay, now our rollout cookie dough is done refrigerating. We're going to lightly dust our countertop. You're so weird. And sister, you want to dump it out onto the counter? I think we want to roll it like a 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch thick. So it's not that big. It's like that big.
It's very light.
Light and floofy.
Yeah.
It's very dark. I can't see.
Oh, this one.
Move it to your left a little so I can see too. Woo, there you go. Okay, we're not going to work this dough too much because that will make it sticky, but I'm going to try to just get it into one ball-ish shape. And then I'm going to flour it a little bit. You can also use powdered sugar if you're worried about the dough getting too floury. A little sticky on that side.
Yo. Fan. Go.
Alright, that's about right. And I like to take a nice hefty handful of flour to set it out for us to dip our cookie cutters in. Yeah, whatever kind you want. So you can see this is quite a large piece of dough. You're welcome to put it in half or even quarters to work with it in smaller batches. And you'll see we go through and use the cookie cutters all over and then we wad it all back up lay it back out, and use the rest of it until we have no more left, and that's always worked just fine for our family. Alright, make sure you put your cookie cutters in there and then tap out the excess flour before you put them in. Now we kind of make this, I don't know what it's called. My brain just went bleh. Where she'll go through and put all the cookies out, and then I'll go through behind her and start putting them on the cookie sheet to throw them in the oven.
Teamwork.
Yeah, it's definitely teamwork, but there's something else. I can't remember the word. Anyway, and I'm only down to my teeny tiny cookie sheet at the moment because the other cookies are still in the freezer doing their flash freeze. And maybe one day I'll get a second set of cookie sheets, since now this is at least the second time I've needed them recently. There you see, she's like sticking them all together as close as she can to use up all the dough. And then I'll go through and scoop them off and throw them on the cookie sheet. I smeared his leg, y'all. He's gonna have a cast. Okay, so I just want to show y'all, this dough is rather sticky right now, and there's a couple of reasons. One is we have had a lot of rain lately, and we are very, very humid, so that affects any sort of baking that you're doing. And then two, it's hot. So hot and humid can tend to make your dough heat up quicker, even though it's been chilling for over an hour. It can make it sticky. So if it's too sticky to lift up your cookies, like we're having the issue with, I'm just going to go ahead and add more flour to this, a little at a time, until the dough is more like what we're used to working with. So that's probably like half a cup. And we're just going to work this by hand real quick and get it all fixed up and rolled out again. And we do have one little cookie sheet of very, well, some of them aren't deformed, but most of them look kind of deformed cookies. Keep doing your hands in the flour too. And we're going to work this dough for this second batch just a little bit. We don't want to overwork it, but we do want to add some more flour to it to firm it up just a tad to make it easier to work with. And we can also throw it back in the fridge once we add this flour, and that will help as well. And working with it in like half a batch and rolling out half at a time and trying to cut them out quicker will also help to keep it cold and have a little extra flour in it. Hope that helps you if you end up having the same sort of situation. Okay, so since we are in here making all these cookies today to let you guys see our favorite recipes, we have discussed, and we are going to stick this dough, geez sister, into the freezer, and then we're going to use it for one on another day when we're not doing so many batches of cookies, and for another on a day that's not so humid. So this is also another good one you can make in advance. If you have time to whip the dough together, then you can just throw it in the freezer, defrost it when you're ready, roll it out, pop all of them into the oven. And so it kind of breaks up, because sugar cookies, you have to make the dough, you have to shape the cookies, bake the cookies, and then decorate the cookies, so it can be a lot of work. And so if you don't always have a lot of time, you can still use it and just do it a little bit at a time. So we're just going to use this saran wrap, and then we'll throw it in an airtight container as well. You can use a Ziploc bag, freezer bag, whatever you have. Look at your little dough baby. Isn't it gorgeous? But yeah, So that's another thing you can do. We do have some in the oven, and we'll show you what those look like in just a minute. Okay, so we have the lovely cranberry white chocolate cookies ready. And we went and got Daddy because they're his favorite. So go ahead. You'll have to tell us if they're right. That's good.
They're gross, you didn't need to eat them. Oh my.
So unfortunately, the batch only made 8 cookies.
Yeah.
For you. And for you.
Why are they your favorite?
Because they're lovely.
I mean, I can see why they're his favorite. It's cranberry and white chocolate.
Yeah.
White chocolate is amazing.
Absolutely delicious.
Get out of here.
These taste better than the Subway ones.
They taste better than Subway ones, which are the white chocolate macadamia. So if you love those kind of cookies, try these out. We're gonna go eat some more cookies. Oh my gosh, sister. Some of them are a little deformed. This one definitely has a cast. Let's see if we can pick him up.
No, it's not.
He has a cast to patch his leg. But you can see, that's a present. It goes like that.
I think this is the best
It
one.
touched the bell. That's a crimped heart.
No, this is the best one.
Yeah, that one's perfect. So we need to put them a little bit further away, but if you ever get the sugar cookies from a bakery, this is the right texture for the bakery style sugar cookies that are usually thick and lovely and amazing. And maybe we'll have to do a video of how we're going to decorate them this year. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe so you don't miss out on that. And we're going to put these to cool, and then we'll get on to our, what is it, 2 more? I think we have 2 more recipes to share with you guys. He doesn't know I made a double batch. And that they're going to be all nice and ready when we need them. So we're just going to quietly package all these up and then go sneak them out to my deep freezer. So no one needs to know until we're actually ready for the holiday cookies. Okay, so sister has pooped out. That girl had a hard, long week and she needs a nap. And I'm going to start on the Snowflake Spritz cookies. And these are another family favorite that I've made for quite a long, many years. And I do have a friend that requests them each year as well. So I'll show you how to do those. Alright, to start we're going to cream together 1 cup of butter and 3 ounces of cream cheese. And this butter has still been sitting out because I want it all to get up to room temperature, because I don't even know how much more butter I need for our last recipe, which that is going to be our test batch. Because I've never made that recipe before, but they sound really good, and I saw some reviews that they became a staple in their kitchen, so I'm very interested to try those, because the ones so far that I've showed you are absolutely a staple in my kitchen, and I just love finding other people's recipes that are tried and true and that they use year after year because their families loved them. Okay, this is an 8-ounce packet of cream cheese, so I'm just going to eyeball what 4 ounces is once I get it open. So 8 ounces and half, you have 4, right? So we're gonna say that's 3 ounces. Works good enough. Alright, just gonna wipe down my edges a little. Give it a little more roundy round. and that looks good. Now we need to add 1 cup of white sugar, and 1 egg yolk. And then we're going to cream that all together until it's light and fluffy. Just going to scrape these edges down again. And this is almost light and fluffy. Next, we need to add about 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and we're just going to give it a nice splash. Mix that in. And I have zested an orange, and we're going to go ahead and add all the rest of that in here as well. See? Alright, now we're just going to add in our dry ingredients, which is a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Salt. And my husband hates cinnamon, but he likes these cookies, so I just don't think there's enough in there for it to bother him very much. Okay, and now we also will put in the flour, and we need to use 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And I'm going to just do this a cup at a time so I don't make a huge mess. So let's throw that in there. And get that going. Alright, I'm gonna scrape down my sides and get everything out of this whisk attachment so we can make sure everything gets nice and incorporated. And then I'll show you what we do next. Alright, there's our lovely dough all nice and incorporated together. So these cookies are super cool because we're going to fill this reusable pastry bag and pipe out the cookies on the tray. And I have my piping kit, and it comes with all the tips that I've needed so far, the scrapers, and then it has the tip guide where you can go through and pick what kind of tip you actually want to use for this. And I can link this down below if you're interested. I haven't had any problems with this. It's been absolutely wonderful. Nice little cheap kit. So if you know anybody who likes to make things like this and pipe out cookies or decorate cakes, I definitely recommend this one. Alright, and it's easy as this. You take this part, you put it in, get it to go all the way down to the bottom, like that. Then you put your tip over it, and then you put this part over here, and you just twist it in place. Just fingertip tight, you don't want to rip your bag. And then you fold this over your hand and get all your batter popped into here. There's also some sort of little Spritz cookie press that the recipe refers to. And I haven't seen one that's specifically for those cookies, but I have seen little kind of like caulk gun cookie squirter outers, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. You pack it in like this as well, And then it's like a caulk gun where it squirts out the cookie dough. And I've seen those over the years, but I've never bought one. This has been just fine, and I think this takes up less space. Alright, let's get them piped out and popped into the oven. And this is from the cookies that we had in the freezer, so I'm not worried about it. And speaking of the oven, I have it preheating to 350. And if I remember rightly, this dough was rather thick. And so I tried to pick a tip that I thought could handle it. Because I really don't want to bust this piping bag. I'm going to change out my tip and see if I can find one that has wider slots, so we can just get these to all blop out how I want them to. Alright, let's try this one. I don't think I've used this tip before, but it looks rather open. And I'm just going for like little bite-sized cookies. They're not big giant cookies. Oh, y'all see it seeping? I might need to get some more reusable bags. Can you tell? I've used it quite a bit. It's starting to have some seepage. I don't know how many years I've had this, but it's probably been 6 or more. So hopefully it can at least get me through this. That's good. I like the size of that one better. And the shape of that one better. It's kind of like a little star flower. This tip is not even meant to do this kind of design. So we're just making it do what we want at the moment. So this one will go back in my bowl to be repiped out again, and this one is just fine. The smaller you make them, the less time it takes them to bake as well. My son just came in, so we let him try that cranberry white chocolate cookie as well. And this is just not going how I want it to. I might have to change this up, make a new plan. I wonder if we can just take that off, use this hole, and make them just in little puff balls, because I have some glittery, edible, sugary stuff that I like to put on them anyway. So maybe they can just be little puff balls this year. That'll work, instead of fighting. Because we're going to put something cute on them anyway, and I'll take a wet finger or just damp finger and just get those little bloops to go away. And I'm running incredibly low on these sprinkles, so we will use up what I have, and I will check out and see if I have any more that I just didn't see, and we'll festive these up with some of these sprinkles. It says 12 to 15 minutes until it's brown on the bottom and then on the peaks. But since I'm making these small, I will keep an eye on them. I'll probably check them at about 10 minutes. Oh no. I'm gonna have to see if this company sells just the bags. That ain't never gonna work. See if I can put my finger over that hole. Yep, that helps to stick my finger over that hole in the bag. It keeps them from coming out so much. You know, I know these are meant to be Christmas cookies, but I know some little kids and some teenagers that are gonna think this shape is hilarious. So I decided to play with the tip as I went across. So it went from more puff ball to bloops to I don't know what that is, to emoji ice cream. And we're going to throw them in and see what all it does. I might pop down these peaks just a little bit so they don't burn. Alright, so the ones that aren't that shape are going to get a little bit of this gold. It's like a chunky gold glitter. I had a silver one too, but I don't know where that one is. Might have used it all last year and I just forgot to replace it. I don't know. But these just kind of fancy up your cookies a little bit, especially in this kind of color. To me, golds and silvers just fancy things up. And since this recipe has cream cheese in it, I wouldn't make it ahead and freeze it. I am going to test out to see how the cookies themselves freeze after they have been baked. So maybe I can like pop back up in the comments and let y'all know if they freeze well. Y'all remind me to do that. Alright, here they are out the oven, and I love that how those sprinkles stay more coarse and don't melt in or squish in or anything like that. Those shapes back there did squish down a little bit, so you know, we could have sprinkled them too, so that's something to note, that it doesn't stay up. It does kind of melt down a little bit. See if we can flip one over. Bottoms are brown. We're going to let them sit for a little bit. They're kind of spongy filling, but they're not doughy, and they don't look gooey in the center like the cranberry white chocolate. So these are ready to go over to the cooling rack. And I'll quickly show you, I still have that much dough to pipe out, so it's probably going to be another cookie sheet full. So this makes probably 3 cookie sheet size pans full. I don't know how many we have here. Probably about 30 cookies per sheet. So 30, 60, 90, maybe 90 cookies. We'll say between 70 and 90 cookies if you do them small like this. So I want to quickly mention, I do try to use the piping tip that does it more frilly looking. They end up looking like little snowflake cookies usually, but you know, bag issues, whatever. They're still going to taste delicious. They just look different this year. Alright, so we're going to try them. They're still pretty soft, so it doesn't really have the texture. We just really care about the flavor. Oh, there you go. What do you think, sister?
Very orangey.
It's got that orange zest in it. Very, very good cookies. Alright, so we have one more recipe to get to. Let's hopefully we can get to it. It is dinner time. And people are wanting to know what's for dinner. And I ain't cooking. Alright, y'all, sister's awake and she is ready to help out a bit, but not in her face camera. So next up we're going to make a new recipe to us, and it looks delicious. It's eggnog thumbprint cookies. Okay, to start we have our oven on 350, and we are going to put 3/4 of a cup of butter in my stand mixer and then add the sugar and cream it all together. Alright, now we need 1/2 cup of just white sugar. Now we're going to add 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Alright, we're just going to get all that cream together. Now we need to add our 1 egg and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And mix all that together. Alright, now we need to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm eyeballing it because my measuring spoons are now wet. And we need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And then this instruction says to stir all this in by hand until we form a dough. So we won't be using the stand mixer. We'll just use our spatulare. Well, what is this?
Spatula.
No. Y'all, it's getting late.
Mixers.
Ooh, check those cookies. We have the last little bit of those Spritz cookies coming out the oven.
Are those good?
Sure, as long as they're browned around the edges, it's good. Perfect. But yeah, it's getting late and we're getting tired. So we're going to get this one whipped out. Hopefully these are good. You think they're going to be good?
Yeah.
I think so too. Alright, now I'm going to go in with my hand. Since most of it's combined, it doesn't look super sticky anymore. So we are going to get in here and form 1-inch balls and place them on the cookie sheet about 2 inches apart. And I'm going to get this off my hands, and then I'm going to put some cold water on my hands because that will help the dough stop sticking to me, which, you know, makes it a lot easier to handle your dough. And we got those little cookies sitting over there cooling off for a minute. Okay, 1-inch ball. Alright, sister, I got the first one out. I think she's going to go through and push them down to make the thumbprint part of this. Wow, that's a little bit bigger than I want. Cute. Alright, we're going to get these cookies out of our way and finish filling up this pan. Hopefully, well, we might need that pan anyway, so we're going to get those over to the cooling rack. And I don't think I mentioned that you want to have this on an ungreased cookie sheet. This would definitely be easy to make ahead and have this dough ready. I don't know how well it'll freeze since it's such a soft dough. But maybe we'll have to try how the cookies freeze as well on these. Alright, there they are, all thumbprinted out. And if you know why people made thumbprint cookies or the history of that, please let me know down in the comments, because sister was asking me and I have no idea. This is definitely like the perk of doing so many batches of cookies in one day. You only have to clean up from this ordeal one time, right? Alright, so our thumbprint cookies are out of the oven and they have had plenty of time to cool. So I'm going to throw together the little icing drops that we put in where the little thumbprints are. Alright, to start we need 1/4 cup of butter. And yes, this is still softened. This is the last bit of butter we will need today. Then we need 1 cup of confectioner's sugar, also known as powdered sugar. We would need 1 tablespoon of rum, but my measuring things are in the dishwasher, so I'm just going to guess. Now we're just going to mix all of this together. Ooh, not like that. Hey sister, it's snowing in here. And I went a little lighter on my liquid because, you know, it's easier just to add a splash here or there. This is kind of like your frosting for the sugar cookies, which, by the way, that's very much a tradition of our family, is to get together with our family and decorate sugar cookies. So I might have to take you guys along because sister has some new ways that she wants to work on those this year. And we will continue the tradition of decorating them with our family members. Maybe we can get some clips for you guys as well. We'll have to see. But we're just gonna make this like an icing, like a cake icing texture from what I see. We don't want it to be runny. So that little one extra splash worked well. Because we're starting to get the right texture now. I think it'd be cool to add some food coloring to this. Just to zhuzh it up a bit. Alright, that was simple enough. Alright, we're just going to go through here and try to plop a dollop of it on each of the cookies. And you could pipe this, but as y'all know, our piping bag is no longer with us. So that would look super cute having it piped out. It'd probably have to be a little bit thinner, but I don't know. Test it out, try it. Let me know what you think. Because I have a feeling the family might really like these. Okay, last but not least, you're supposed to sprinkle a little bit of nutmeg. On each of the cookies. And they just look amazing. I'm gonna have to try it. Okay guys, so these are the ones that we haven't made before. They're our tester outer.
It's like pepper.
Maybe it is pepper. Alright, you gonna come over here and try on camera?
Oh, it's tahini.
I guess it kind of does look a little bit like tahini on there. I promise you it is not tahini. What y'all think? She looks very confused.
I know.
That tastes like cinnamon.
Y'all, is there any cinnamon in this? No.
It's good.
Oh.
None whatsoever.
Nutmeg.
Yeah, nutmeg, not cinnamon.
Same thing.
It's an eggnog thumbprint cookie.
Oh, I see the similarity.
You really get it, huh? You're eating alcohol. Oh, there's rum in the icing. So you can't have very many of these.
There's also alcohol in those chocolate cranberry cookies.
Yeah, but they baked after. So, this is a recipe with actual alcohol in the icing where it's not cooked after. So be aware of that.
That's lovely. I like
Just
them.
cook the alcohol.
For people, you know, her age.
Oh, what?
But those are wonderful. You like them?
Yeah, I'll be back when there's more cookies.
Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me and my family, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all the wonderful New Year's. And we have more Christmas videos in store for you guys. So if you aren't subscribed, yet, please do that so you don't miss any of our cooking, baking, making. Weird faces on my child behind me while I'm doing an outro.
Remember to hit the notification bell.
Yeah, he says remember to hit the notification bell. That way it will send you a reminder whenever I put out a video. And we appreciate everything you're doing. Our channel is growing and we're loving our little community that we have built here on YouTube. We also have Instagram and TikTok. So if you're on any of those, please head on over and check those out. I just want to see where this is going.
What are you talking about?
Whatever is happening right there.
Nothing's happening.
But anyway, until the next one, love you, bye-bye. Well, that was entertaining. Thanks. Okay, y'all, so next up is my husband's absolute favorite. Even on years that I'm not making cookies, I'm requested to make these cookies, and they are cranberry white chocolate They're white chocolate. My husband's favorite is white chocolate and cranberry cookies. Is it childproof?
No.
What are you doing?
Taking the extra home.
Looks like you're trying to steal a snack to me.
Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.